Welcome back to Paranormally Correct. I'm your host, Sarah, and today we are doing paranormal news, which is something that I really enjoy doing since we are halfway through the year, which is absolutely preposterous if you ask me. I thought it would be a good time to talk about all of the cool things that have happened so far in the year 2022. Before we get started, please take a moment to click the like button or dislike. I don't know why you would, but definitely click the subscribe button and stick around for more spooky content. I don't know if you guys have heard about this, but China has this big ass radio telescope. I mean, this thing's huge, and I've got note cards because I can't remember things very well sometimes. It's a 500 meter. I probably should have Googled how many feet that is. I don't know. I'll put it on the screen. But this telescope is insane. It's humongous. And its name is FAST, F-A-S-T. So they've got this thing. They've been using it since, I don't know, sometime several years ago. In 2017, it actually picked up two pulsars. It discovered them, which is awesome because that's what it was built to do. That was actually the purpose of FAST, was to look for alien life. But what's extra cool about this, and it just came out, I believe around the beginning of June, this news did, is that it discovered two really strange signals back in 2019, and then it just recently this year discovered another strange signal. I know it's tempting to immediately be like, oh my god, it's aliens. I want to think that it's aliens. I'm convinced already that it's aliens, and I don't even know what it was that this gigantic radio telescope picked up. The weird thing about this story is that they published the findings in an article for Science and Technology Daily. And again, like I said, this was back at the beginning of June. And then very shortly after, they removed the article with no explanation given. So luckily, a lot of people across the internet were able to snatch up this information before it was deleted. Lots of people saw it because this is a very popular publication online. But a lot of people think that it's super weird that they deleted it so quickly. People are speculating that it could be that, maybe it's top secret information that they didn't want to release yet, or maybe it's something as simple as somebody looked at it and was like, maybe we're a little premature here because we don't really know for sure. This could be anything and we don't want to blow it out of proportion yet. Let's wait, hold back on the article until we have more details. Again, I'm not sure exactly what the details of the signals were, but I know that there were three, and apparently these three signals captured in 2019 and this year can somehow be attributed to aliens. So I'm just going to run with aliens. And I think the theme of the show today is just jumping to conclusions, because you're going to notice that in a lot of these news stories is that everybody in all of these news stories is jumping to conclusions. And I am not above doing that myself when it comes to aliens. So we're calling this one definitely aliens. Have you heard about the Carol Iford footage? This clip was captured in November of last year when Carol Iford and her granddaughter were stopped in the road so that Carol could get out and shut the gate on their driveway. And her granddaughter spotted some type of creature hiding behind a tree. Now, the footage is not filmed with a potato, and that's awesome because, as we know, cryptid footage is always filmed with a potato. But unfortunately, this particular footage doesn't give us a whole lot to go on, simply because the headlights are they're just aimed the wrong way. If we had a little bit of a change in the degree of light beam, we maybe could see something in this footage to lead us to some type of conclusion. But that's not the case, because amazing things like that never happened to me. So we are left to wonder. Now, Carol went on record to say that initially she thought that the creature was a bear, but after she saw the footage, she decided that it was definitely not a bear, and then she immediately jumped to the conclusion that it was definitely a skinwalker, because, that makes sense. So listen, Carol, here's the thing. It could have been anything. Why a skinwalker? I mean, there are other things in the woods, but sometimes there are escaped convicts in the woods, I just feel like that even would have, as unlikely as that is, that still would have been a more logical leap than a skinwalker. So now we may possibly revisit this footage soon for a little analysis, Or I may just throw it in right here. I don't know. We'll see what happens in editing.
What is it? What'd you see?
What the frick is that?
What? It's behind that tree right there.
Nana, what is that?
But just off the top of my head, I'm gonna say you're jumping to conclusions, Carol. It's probably not a skinwalker. A coin hobbyist has discovered an alien coin. Okay, again, I know when I say anything about aliens, we all get super excited, me included, even though I know the story already. I'm still like, woo, what is this? No, it's not from space. The coin didn't come from space. So basically what happened is this particular coin hobbyist was scouring a roll of quarters when he spotted this strange looking quarter with a creepy old alien head on it. Now listen, I have no doubt that this is going to end up tangled up in some type of weird government conspiracy theory. But just for the record, this is actually like hobo art. And if you've never heard of hobo art, apparently it was a thing throughout most of the 1900s. Experts say, although I've never heard of a hobo coin expert, but apparently there are some. But the experts claim there was 200,000 hobo coins made between 1913 and the 1980s, each with their own original piece of artwork. Now, what I find most fascinating and quite frankly hilarious about this is number one, how did they know how many of these coins that there were that were created or produced or modified, whatever. But what's really interesting is that somewhere out there is someone who is an expert in the field of hobo coins. I don't know why that's hilarious to me. I'm not laughing at hobos here. Let's just make that clear. I'm not laughing at hobos. I'm laughing at the fact that some person out there in the world is an expert on hobo coins. Either way, this is not a conspiracy. This is not anything to do with government cover-ups. You cucumbers, don't get your panties in a twist, because that's not what's going on here. It's art. I know that's also a hard concept to grasp sometimes, but it's art. And apparently there's a such thing as being an expert on hobo coin. I like this story. I think it's really nice. And can we just appreciate the fact that this is like some really amazing artwork? My greatest artistic endeavor in defacing US currency is drawing a mustache on like Abraham Lincoln angry eyebrows. So this is pretty impressive. Listen, there is so much alien news, it's insane. I mean, like there's dozens of alien news articles floating around. Like I'm not even going to be able to cover them all in this one video. We'll definitely talk about them on some live streams coming up in the future. But this one I thought was super cool and I wanted to include it because I feel like this is a lesser known alien related story that's probably not going to get a lot of attention because it's not like a big flashy story. But I think it's really, I don't know, charming, I guess. Astronomers recently discovered strange anomalies in 70-year-old images of the night sky.
We found one image where 9 stars were out there and then they vanished. And they are not there half an hour earlier, and they are not there 6 days later, says Beatrice Villarreal, a postdoctoral researcher at the Nordic Institute for Theoretical Physics.
Researchers claim that these spots could be damage or defects from age in the emulsions, or, just some other explainable artifact, because things happen over time and these are 70 years old. So it's possible that they weren't even photographed originally and maybe it's something that developed just with age. However, after the discovery, a team of astronomers have been probing the possibility that these transient lights could be signs of extraterrestrials because they were in some of the pictures, but not others. And therefore, it's definitely aliens. We're going to jump to conclusions. It's aliens. The rise of Skynet. Pretty soon there's going to be a T-1000 knocking at your door looking for some woman you've never heard of before. And little do you know, you're fated to be with her and create the spawn that will save the universe 25 years from now. And then, I don't know, there'll be like whatever happened in the Matrix, because I didn't watch that movie because I wasn't interested in it, and like it's gonna be a giant futuristic laser beam filled disaster. That's basically my introduction for this next story, where a 41-year-old software engineer named Blake Lemoine recently took to Twitter to lament being laid off from Google. Why, you might ask? Because he went on Twitter prior to this and claimed that Google had sentient computers. Every day we stray further from God. Do you ever just feel like you're in an episode of Grand Theft Auto Talk Radio? Because I feel like I'm trapped there perpetually. Lemoine actually signed up some time ago to test Google's new language model for dialogue applications, AI. And he immediately jumped to the conclusion that this thing was sentient. Lemoine compared conversing with the computer to talking to a 7 or 8-year-old kid who just happened to know physics. He then compared the software to a narcissist with a propensity for Twitter and claimed that it loves to read tweets about itself. Google saw this peculiar tirade that Lemoine had gone on Twitter, and they put him on administrative leave, claiming that he had violated confidentiality agreements. My guess is he's going to turn this into a conspiracy theory, if he hasn't already, where they're trying to silence him, and then this is somehow going to end up on 4chan or 8chan or 8kun, whichever one's going nowadays, I don't even know. And it's somehow going to be integrated into a cucumber conspiracy theory. That's my prediction for this story because, quantum computers and uploading our brain to the cloud. Now listen, I'm not above enjoying a little bit of DARPA conspiracy theory lore off the internet. I think it's fun and fascinating. But at the end of the day, I turn the computer off and I go on about my normal life. And I don't, dwell on the possibilities of some shadowy entity creating a quantum computer that is controlled by a human brain floating in glowing liquid in a laboratory somewhere. But I mean, I guess, if you do, then whatever, live your life. I don't know what I think about Google. I've read a lot of strange conspiracy theories about Google's secret technology. And like I said, I think I just oh wow, that's creepy, that's weird, that's interesting. And then I immediately dismiss it. Even if Google has a super quantum computer that is basically trolling Twitter, there's nothing I can do about it, it is what it is. So, but I guarantee somewhere out there are people on the internet praising Lemoine for being a whistleblower. Guarantee it. By now, chances are you've seen the skunk handstand video that's been going around for about a month. But I have doubts that this thing is actually a skunk. Toward the end of May, there was a video came out that was captured by CCTV somewhere in Southern California. And the user uploaded the video to YouTube and claimed that it was a skunk doing a handstand, which they're notorious for when they're spraying. Apparently, I didn't even know skunks did handstands. I've seen lots of skunks spray things, and I've never seen them stand on their hands to do it. But apparently, this is a real thing. Now, some people have compared this footage to Cousin It from the Addams Family, and honestly, that's what it looks like. But to me, it doesn't look anything like a skunk. And I'll tell you what I think is so cool about this footage is you can tell that this was accidentally captured. This is not one of those situations where somebody was like, I'm going to point my security camera in a, highly suspicious angle and accidentally on purpose capture some type of unexplainable footage. This one, it's actually really hard to see. So we're going to take a look at this clip slowed down and magnified to kind of get a better look at it. And what I want to point out about this footage is that the hair, if it's hair, I don't know if it's actually hair, doesn't look like skunk hair. And this thing looks like it has long hair. So that's one of the reasons I don't think it's a skunk. But let's take a look at the footage real quick. Now, granted, I've never seen a skunk do a handstand in person, and I've certainly never seen one from a bird's eye view. So I could be completely, totally wrong about this, but I think this is one instance where the original author of the video maybe should have jumped to conclusions, because I think this is something besides a skunk. Now, is it paranormal? I have no idea. Probably not, but maybe. But I don't believe that this is a skunk. What do you guys think about this? Let me know in the comments what you think this thing is. We got new Loch Ness Monster footage. It's apparently the best in 20 years. So I'll tell you what's funny about this footage is the fact that two tourists who just so happen to be visiting Loch Ness go over there and, they just are the luckiest couple in the world because they just happened to capture footage of the Loch Ness Monster locals have been searching for how many years now? Like 50 years or something like that. Lots of discovery teams have gone and explored this body of water. But these two tourists, their mere presence at Loch Ness spawned the Loch Ness Monster. And to hear people on the internet call this footage the best footage in 20 years. One of the two people in this super lucky Loch Ness Monster spotting couple went on record to say we were fairly ambivalent about the Loch Ness Monster. We enjoyed the stories, but didn't necessarily believe in them. We'd definitely love for somebody to analyze the video. If it helps anybody work out what's down there, then it would be our absolute pleasure. We would be delighted. And then somewhere along the way, somebody sent it to a photo analyst or a video analyst, a photographic expert, if you will, and they confirmed that something is definitely moving in the water. This is one of the reasons that I can't ever personally take the Loch Ness Monster seriously. It seems like every time a tourist goes over there, they end up being the ones to capture magnificent footage. And, nobody's seen the Loch Ness Monster in 52 years, but you people just happen to be here on vacation. And we'll take a look at the footage. I don't have high hopes for it, but let's check it out and see what we can see. If there's literally never any type of normal animal caught swimming in or on top of this water, and this is truly an anomaly, then my guess would be that they hoaxed it. How is this the best footage in 20 years? Who even said that? Who said that? I want to know. I want a written apology. So once again, Loch Ness Monster news is a gigantic prehistoric letdown. That dinosaur's probably dead by now. It's probably dead. It's probably been dead for 25 years. So I think that's about it for now with the paranormal news. Oh yeah, some divers found like a 26-foot worm in the ocean. I don't know that's not really paranormal though. So, alright guys, that is all for this video. Thank you so much for watching. And if you enjoyed this video and would like to see more paranormal news and other paranormal things, just in general, be sure to click the like button and subscribe and stick around for more spooky content. And until next time, don't get eaten by Dogman and don't get abducted by aliens.